This conference will now be recorded.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good. Good to see everybody. We got a full house again tonight, 2 months in a row. Yep. I think if that's what everybody's doing at this point,
Yeah.
Two responding in the amount of $2 quotes in the amount of,
Where you at,
on the second page.
all right, second top paragraph.
More. So I can change your thought in the middle of it.
yeah, I was probably copying and pasting, who knows what. So I will delete the redundant phrase, three quotes with two responding in the amount of 31,000 and change that. I'll eliminate that one. In the amount of $2. Quotes. No. Two responding quotes. In the amount of $2 will be eliminated.
Just cross out the $2 quotes in the amount of, and then, yeah. Other than that one change.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes with the amendment.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Very good. So we have a facade application.
Just like to do a quick overview, is
Yes,
that
we
be
do.
helpful?
Yep.
All right, so we own the green building on the corner. The Fox Den is on the first floor. We live on the second floor, or the third floor. A few years back, I don't know, 3 or 4, we had a new membrane put on the roof. And we were getting a little water coming in through our ceiling in our third floor. So we figured it was probably a roof leak and called the guy that put the roof in. He came and he's like, no, the roof's fine. So that was the good news. Roof's all good. But the facade wall that we share with Assurance Title, their building is a little shorter than ours. So that part of the wall from where the two buildings share a wall, that part that extends up has basically faced the weather and the elements for a very long time, given the age of the building. So there are some cracks and some loose bricks and a handful of other issues there. and the water is coming in there, and that's where the water is coming into the building. So we reached out to 5 contractors, got 2 of them to come, a third one to decline. We got 2 written quotes, which were part of the packet I hope you were able to look at. I think we were recommending the $6,500 quote, which happens to be the same gentleman that did the roof, so he'll be able to tie the work he's doing here into the roof because it's his work. They are going to, the area is about, 6 or 7 feet by 66 feet, so it's a fairly long stretch of that building. They're gonna power wash it, clean up all the loose stuff, redo everything there, and then put what they call a heat weld membrane, which is essentially a seal over the top of it to ensure that that weather-facing wall has 30 years of guaranteed.
Is that wall that you're describing, that's facing south?
It's facing east.
Oh, facing it, okay, sorry, I didn't have it
Yes.
right in my
Yes.
understanding. Okay,
Yeah, it's
yes.
facing east. The work will be done as soon as we're ready to go. When he was up there, he also noticed that the chimney is beginning to show some signs, and he said it's just a matter of time because that also faces the elements. We don't share a wall, obviously, with the chimney. So he's gonna go ahead and throw the chimney in as well, and that will prevent that from becoming a problem and getting water. Because if we get water in the chimney, it's gonna go everywhere. So, but the trigger for this was the water coming in through the ceiling. Patty and I are pretty particular about maintaining our properties. We don't like to see things that aren't right. Plus, we have a tenant on the first floor that's a food tenant, so we're very conscientious about making sure we take care of things. So our first step is to get the exterior wall replaced, get the membrane in place, get it all sealed up. Then we'll have to hire a second contractor on our dime to come in and tear out a little bit where the water damage is and just get up in there to inspect to make sure there's nothing else up there that needs cleaned out. We hope not, but you never know. And so that'll be our second step, and we've already talked to a couple of contractors. So I don't know if I can answer any questions. It's a pretty straightforward job, I think. It's just one that's necessary.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion. I'll second that motion, Mike.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second.
You might want to
Approval of
clarify.
this 32, it's
There you go.
3250.
3250 is what it is.
Yeah, 3,250, which is half of the.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
So, anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
And pardon me, who made the motion of that?
Mike did.
Mike did, thank you. And
And I'll second.
Brian second, thank you, okay.
Thank you for that. We would just say we enjoy being part of this community and the support and assistance that you all provide, not only to us, but to other downtown businesses is much appreciated. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you for taking care of that old building. Working on it.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
All right. You need anything else, Steve? You know how to get us.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Thank you.
good luck on the
All right,
project,
let's
thank
go.
you guys. And thanks for your investment in our community, everybody appreciates it.
Okay.
And they reminded me right before the meeting, and I kind of forgot, it's on our agenda, I forgot about it, but they'll go to the town council meeting now on Tuesday at 6 PM to, I guess, council rubber stamps or approves the facade. And same thing with the last. We hope, yeah, same thing with the last grant here, that was Susan Chance.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So what's the status of, the facade program been updated at this point in time?
No, it has not. Yeah, so, and so it's on my list. Once I get the document, redrafted, and I'm kind of going off of,
What I
the
have.
red line version was from you, right, Lori?
Yeah.
And when you sent that to me, was it a Word document or a PDF, do you recall?
That was a Word document.
Okay, perfect, yeah. So it'd be no issue, I'd just be able to kind of, update that in the form of a draft. and then I'll bring it back to this group, RDC, because not only are we changing, not really changing, just, it had already been approved, but there was a couple of things that we said maybe we ought to add since it's gonna, get reapproved of sorts here and by the council. There was a couple of things. I made notes of them in the last meeting that I'll also incorporate. And then once you look at it, we can want to revise it further. That'll be fine.
I remember when you had the 1-year expiration.
Yeah.
The 1-year time of expiration on that
Yes.
grant. And you noted that in your minutes, I believe, from last month.
1 year after the council approval.
After council. Okay.
I think that was the main change that I can think of.
Yeah, and I thought there was one more. I forget what it is offhand. I'll have to dig in my notes unless somebody remembers. There was something else we thought of, but maybe there wasn't.
That was it after the dollar amount.
I think so too.
What's that?
It was just the dollar amount.
Just,
and then
that was the
expiration
That was
date.
big, but I think, didn't,
but her revised version has that in.
the
Yeah, the revised version
Historical
has
Society,
that.
didn't they get a facade grant since we changed that?
Yes, and we gave him $5,000 for the roof. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, so that should be changed, it should be here
They
somewhere.
just never changed it online.
Right, online it didn't get changed.
That document seems to be MIA though, huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Weird.
I mean, I'll do another double check.
We indeed
But I
did only
couldn't
get
find it.
$5,000 for the roof of the old jail.
I have a theory. My theory is that I was working with Jacob to make those revisions, and I think he may have actually printed it off and had it ready to go. And in the transition, it didn't get
Yeah.
put where it needed to get put. So I think he gave that to Bill Schultz
Mhm.
personally. So he
Yeah.
probably gave him the updated stuff,
Yeah.
but it just never
Yeah.
got in the records.
And then there was a big glitch. No, it was not bad. It was my system was hacked when I had first started within the first month. My email system, I think it was, and so it resulted in me having to change my email address as the town manager from what Jacob's was, and then there was a lot of mostly emails, but there may have been some documents as well that I kind of vanished, or I can't open them now. I sort of see some things, but it's like I can't open them. So a lot of history there that was going
Gotta love it.
on.
They're great when they work right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Get that updated and taken care of would be very good. Any other discussion?
I assume, Steve, that you're gonna talk to, Kurt next Tuesday about coming to a meeting?
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that reminder. I'm trying to think. I try to think if I gave him a heads up or not. He's not going to be at. No, he will be at the next meeting, but then which is next 14th. The meeting after that, the 28th, he won't be at. But he's got some things he's taking care of. He said, but I will run it by him that the group wants to meet with him to explore, economic development or housing in the context of economic development, the charter of the group.
I think we'd also like to talk to him about spending money out of the TIFs, the appropriation of money out of the TIFs, as far as what can go where, how much can go where.
General consultation.
Yeah.
If we want to give him heads up on what we're thinking, I mean, that's one of the areas I'd really like to understand better.
There's so much up in the air, I saw you sitting at that meeting, I saw Robbie sitting at that meeting,
Wasn't very informative.
Not one of y'all had a smile on your face.
I mean, got one woman sitting in front of you telling her story, but
Yeah.
she's one person.
I really felt like it was kind of like, I heard you, but nothing's
Yeah, I mean, she made it somewhat clear what she was aligned with and what she wasn't, just in defense of herself, but kind of sounds like it's a pretty split aisle on a lot of issues, so.
And I was telling Gavin, when Ben Castle had talked about the county as a whole is going to lose about 120 million.
112 million
In assessed
in
value,
assessed value.
so which would have implications for this group when it comes to TIF districts, because they're going to be less value, so less.
So it'll be less money for
Yep.
coming in. And we have to look at what's already pledged on going out. With less money coming in, how that's gonna affect the long term.
And you still got the roof to deal with next year.
I know.
Band-aids.
Schools are doing.
Band-aids.
It's just gonna swing one way, then it'll swing back the other. It's gonna take a long time. Steve, I don't know if you wanna make a note of this, my appointment date that's reflected on the agendas is incorrect.
Okay, let me look at this right now.
I know that Carol knows this, so I don't know if you prepared yours or she does, but it says 10/20/2014.
This one I prepared, but, hold on a second here. Okay, go ahead, it says,
10/20/2014.
Yep.
The actual date is 6/14/22.
6-14-22
Yes,
is the date of,
that was when I was appointed.
to RDC.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll change that.
Because I was on the BZA. I don't think so, though. I don't think I was on the
It just felt like you were around a lot longer, I guess.
BZA. Sorry about that. Even for you, huh?
Any other discussion?
No, I got nothing. Talk about everything I need to talk about.
All right.
I heard there's a new restaurant coming to town.
Should have asked Patty that.
Yes, yeah, they bought, Patty Gary's, building there. It's gonna be a Mexican restaurant.
Really?
Lalo's, I think. From what Vicky was saying, I think it's the people who own the one in Garrett, so Lalo's.
Yeah, he mentioned it, yeah.
Where's that building?
Is that Fort Wayne or Garrett?
They have it both.
It's good.
It's pretty decent.
It's very
Where
good.
Gary and his wife had that store.
That room-to-room outlet.
They used to make a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Before my time now.
Everybody have
Pizza
two
place
Mexican
there was a
restaurants.
while. A long time ago.
When I moved in, it was the Chinese.
Yeah.
And then it became Baseline. Outfitters.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those guys being there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Anything going on with the school and looking for additional property for a daycare unit? No.
Just trying to wait to see where things shake out. Anything, I know we had our public work session and we're gonna have some surveys go out, stuff like that, see what we do. I don't know, because we're at this, we have to cut costs, but we have to find a way to bring in money too. The only way we can do that right now is by attracting kids, so. I don't know. We're gonna get the opinions of parents, students, staff, community members, and go from there. I think the grant we did get was 500,000. That can be used to purchase a building, to renovate a building, to build one, some things. So we had talked about with our daycare possibility, even if we stay how we are, moving the daycare. There's some rooms that are not being utilized right now at the primary building out there and retrofitting them for daycare rooms. It wouldn't take much, like really fixing the exterior doors and windows and getting hot water, like the instant hot water into the rooms. So,
Is that 500,000 got an expiration
It
time?
does, so has to be, we have to start projects before, I think it was December of like, not this December, but
Next
next
December.
December.
Okay.
So we have a little time to try to figure out what.
2026. You have to start them before, you don't have to be
We
complete.
don't have to be completed just as we start.
What was the source of that funding?
That was from Eli Lilly.
That's what I thought.
Is there any room to add on to the building down here? Like, I don't know where you're at, like,
So we've looked at it, but it's
Property
like
line.
to add on is, actually, so West Noble is looking at closing their primary building, like completely closing it. And moving all those kids out to the West Noble campus, so their elementary. To add on, they looked like they're gonna renovate some rooms, but they were looking to add on, I think Nate told me they were gonna put in, looking at either 4 or 6 rooms, it was like $40 million.
Oh my gosh.
It is, construction prices for projects like that are insane. And that's why we're in this kind of limbo of what do we do, because we gotta try to save some money. We can fit everybody, but if we have a building project or we have enrollment go up, we'll have to be able to go back out to it. So you can't just not use it, period, because those buildings end up having big issues if they're never used. But then, or your option is you could build on, but you're looking at like 40, in today's money, like 40 million to build onto that building. You do it 3 years from now, who knows what it costs? It could be 50 million. Like, so you'd have to do a referendum, and or a 19-cent referendum that was just over $1 million. So multiply that times 40. That's never going to work. So we're just in this weird spot of like, we're almost too small to stay. I mean, they were talking about this 15 years ago, and they have 200 more kids. But we're almost too big, where we have the one housing addition that's possibly going in with 24 houses. If something else would come around, or every year we have more and more kids coming from East Noble, West Noble, Columbia City, like coming in. They want the smaller town, so it, if it would explode, like Cherubusco has 200 students from Northwest Allen that come, we would get something like that to happen. We'd have to have room, and then we have to have that room. But unfortunately, we're in this spot where for the next 3 years, like we've got to do something now. I can't wait for the 3 years for the housing to start picking up, because from my understanding, it'd probably be 3 to 5 years before any of those houses were built, ready to go with people. So, yeah, it's just this weird predicament, compounded by Senate Bill 1. Had Senate Bill 1 not happen, or referendum pass, we'd be status quo, we would stay where we're at. But I don't know. Like Craig presented on a 4-day work week or school week. They had a micro school thing. I've heard good from both sides. Like I've heard good, I've heard bad, I've heard. But I said, well, at this point, those are the options that were put forward. Like nobody else has came with like, hey, have you done this? So we have to do something. Like we just can't not do it. Not when we're losing 300,000. Well, I think this first year is like 290-some thousand, and it's like right about 300 the following year, and then the next year it's like 320 plus. If this thing stay the way they are, we'll lose our lit money, which is almost 200,000, so it'd be about a $500,000 hit. And the hard part is you have to budget 18 months before that, so it's just this hard balancing act. So, and then you have appropriations, and there are things that you have to keep doing. Like, I think this is a good group that understands you. You have to take care of your buildings, otherwise you end up with huge issues. So then people don't understand that there's an operations fund, there's an education fund. They're not the same. You can only transfer so much from the education to operations. You have your bonds that you can do to help continue to keep your buildings up and running, and so you don't have pipes burst like we did. Which actually wasn't a pipe that burst in our cafeteria. It was, so main water pipe that runs for the heat and cooling units on top, when they installed them, how many ever years ago, I think that portion was done like 15-ish some years ago. The pipes, the copper pipes that come down that tie into it for the hot water, they're metal on the outside, but the inside is like a plastic threading. And over time, the hot water and the weight just, they pop out. And talk about a lot of water really fast. And luckily, one of our custodians just happened to walk through there and was working and they heard it, but said, I didn't really think anything about it. It just, oh, that was a weird sound. And I kept working. And he said, next thing I know, I'm standing in the water.
Oh, no.
He said it was probably about 10 minutes from the sound to that. And by the time I got there, he called, our business manager called me. I got there probably 25 minutes later, and in the cafeteria, there was that much water. If that had ran all night long, it would have been really bad. And luckily, it was in the cafeteria where it wasn't carpet and desks and furniture and everything else. So all cleaned up the next day.
Well, thank you for the update.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. It's,
And then probably everybody will, if you see, hoping we're putting some finishing touches on the surveys. We're hoping to send them out by Friday. So community members, parents, business owners, staff, students. We have different ones for students and staff, but then we need parents to be able to answer and give some feedback. So.
anything else? Is there a motion for adjournment?
Yes.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor?
That's the question. All right.
Oh.